Hello everybody, I welcome you all to NK's Geology class. In my previous class, I have discussed what is spherical projection and how spherical projection is used to provide stereographic projection. So now let me discuss this stereo projection in detail by taking some examples. Before we start stereo projection, let me show you the spherical projection. So here it is the sphere, a cubic crystal model has been taken, and the center of this cubic model is coinciding with the center of the sphere. Perpendiculars are drawn from the center of the sphere to the faces extended to touch the sphere. So these are the poles of the corresponding faces. These are the poles. So from these poles we get the stereographic projection in the equatorial plane. This is the equatorial plane. This is the equatorial plane. So how these faces are being transferred to equatorial plane? So here it has been shown all the faces which are coming on the northern hemisphere, they are joined to the south pole, and the point where these lines pierce this equatorial plane. This is the equatorial plane, or this is stereographic projection plane. So where these points, these lines pierce this equatorial plane, there the faces are being plotted, or the faces are being transferred to those points. So these are the points where these are the points where these perpendiculars or the the poles of the faces, they have been joined to the equatorial, to the southern pole. So that so let us say this is a line which is piercing at this point. This is a line piercing at this point. This is the line is piercing at this point. So these points, they represent the faces, and they are the plottings in the equatorial plane, or they are the plottings in the stereographic plane, or we can say they together constitute, all those poles that together constitute the stereographic projection of the crystal. Let us say this is the crystal, and we take use of the Wolf net for plotting the poles of the faces by taking use of the interfacial angles, or by taking use of the phi and rho angles. So we have, this is the Wolf net. We have these circles which are the small circles, and the greater circle is the equator. This is equator, greater circle, and these are the great circles. These are the great circles because they correspond to this circle. So they are the parts of the arcs of the great circles. These are the arcs of the great circles. So these are the arcs of great circles. So measurement is made from this point to this through these arcs. The measurement is made from this point, or from this point through these small circles. So the angular relation is from this to this is 90, from this to this 90, and these are the lines which here up to 90, here up to 90, so together they make 180 degree on one side, 100 degree on the other side. So this is the Wolf net, and this net is being used to project the poles of the faces, or to find out the stereographic projection of the crystal models. Now let me discuss. Let me take an example of a orthorhombic crystal. This is orthorhombic crystal. This is orthorhombic crystal. Let us say it is anglicite. Its rho and phi angles let us find out. So this is the crystal model. This is the basal pinacoid. This is basal pinacoid. These are the pyramidal faces. These are the prism faces or the vertical faces, prism faces. This is a pyramidal face. So we know the angle between these faces, and we have converted these angles into rho and phi. Let us see this basal pinacoid. See this face. This face is having rho 0 degree, because when you talk about rho is measured with respect to this axis. This is the C axis. This face, when it is, this face is making how much angle? The line joining this face and with this north pole, it is making how much angle? It is making 0 angle. That's why rho is 0. This face is making certain angle. So here that is the pole of the face. It is joined to the center. So this angle becomes the rho. So for this face, we have the rho. We have for the face O rho is having 52 degree. So all the faces which are vertical, they are having rho 90 degree. So this face rho 90, this face rho 90, this face rho 90, because they are vertical faces. They are parallel to this axis, CX axis. So this plane is plotted at the center. Its rho is 0. Its rho is 90 degree. And the 0, 1, 0 face, B face. B face is the starting meridian. Its phi angle is 0. Phi angle is 0. And this N face, it is a little distance away. So this is the equatorial plane. This face is here. This face is here. So this angle is the phi. So this angle is phi. So phi for N is 32.5 degree. Phi for M is here. M is, so this angle is 52 degree. So in this manner, phi and rho angles are found out, particularly for the faces, which can be referred to half their angle with respect to 0, 1, 0 plane, or with respect to this 0, 0, 1 plane, one face. Other faces, for example, Y is not directly found to be linked to these faces. That's why for them we take use of the circles. See Y is not directly linked to this, That's why we take use of the circles. We determine the angle between these two faces, or these faces, because this face we know it is occurring at the occurring in the primitive circle, in the circle. So from the primitive circle we can draw the angles, and from the center we can draw the angles. From this point we can draw the angles, but the measurement can be made directly from this point and this point. Then there is no issue in plotting the phase. But when that relation is not found, we take use of the circles. Three circles, this circle, this circle, this circle, they will coincide at a point which will produce this phase y. That has been discussed here. So by use of rho and phi angles, it is possible to find out values. So rho angle is the measure with respect to north pole passing through the center for the poles of phases. So basal Pennaker has rho 0. Phi is measured from 0, 1, 0 phase in the equatorial plane. It is measured in the this angle is measured on equatorial plane. As it is measured for the longitudes on the equatorial plane. So 0, 1, 0 phase, through 0 and 0 phase, the meridian that goes, that gives the 0 meridian. If we measure the angle in the equatorial plane from this meridian towards south, it is positive 180 degree, towards north or anticlockwise it is minus 180 degree. So here it is minus 95, here minus, this side will be minus 180, so this side will be plus 180. So how these faces of this anglesite crystal, these faces, they have been plotted. They have been plotted in the stereo diagram that has been shown here. Let me just discuss. So we have this is 0, 1, 0 phase, phi 0, B, phase C is at the, phase C is here. This is the point for C. And for B is having rho 90, phi 0. So this, the point B. So this is the great circle. This is the great circle which has phi 0, rho 90. Rho is 0 here, rho is 90 on the periphery. So this circle is having phi 0, rho 90. So this is the point for B, 0, 1, 0 phase. Then for N phase, 1, 1 node, it is vertical phase. It is having rho 90. It will occur on the periphery. That this angle is the phi. So from this point, so this is the horizontal plane. This plane is, this circle is the horizontal circle. So this is this 0 meridian, and so we can imagine the vertical circle here through this point. This will give the 0 meridian. So this is the equatorial circle. So the angle 1, 1 naught, the angle 1, 1 naught, this is 1, 1 naught, this is 1, 1 naught, vertical phase. So here it is 0, 1, 0. So this angle, the angle between this phase and this phase is 45 degree. If it is 45 degree, it can be plotted from this along the circle, along this circle. We have this point, along the circle we can measure 45 degree. that has been shown here. So if it is 110 is making, let us say it is 32.5 degree for orthorhombic crystal. So that is the case in case of the cubic crystal, 45 degree rhomboidal face. But here this is a prism face making 32.5 degree. So it is measured from this point 32 degree, 32.5. So this is 32.5 degree, 5. So the point is here, end point is here. Similarly, we find the M point, which is having phi 52 degree. So it will be here. So this is M, this is N. Then we have O, not 1 face, not 1 face, not 1 face will be found, not 1 face, it is parallel to the horizontal A axis. So it occurs in the 0 meridian, that's why its phi angle is 0, but it has rho angle 52 degree. So rho angle O, so O will be, so this is the 0 longitude or 0 phi 0, and O is making 52 degree. This is making 52 degree. So it will measure from this point, this is 0. So 52 degree will be somewhere here. So this will be position of O. If we take into account D 101, it is having, so this face 101, D face is having phi 90. That means this is 0, phi will be here, it will be 90. So along this, so this is the great circle for D, where rho will be 39.5 degree. So here we measure 39.5 degree. So this will be position for D. Similarly for Y gives rho 57 degree. Phi angle is difficult to find out because of its location. So how we can locate phi, how we can locate the position of Y in the stereo diagram? So we take this 57 degree circle, it makes 57 degree with C. So a circle is drawn having angle 57 degree. So somewhere on this circle the face Y is located. So we have to take other two reference circles so that we can find out a point of intersection. If we take into account the B versus Y, B versus Y is 45 degree. So keeping B at the center, this B at center, we draw a line 45 degree circle. We draw by taking use of the wolf net, we draw the circle 45 degree. So the face will either be here or here. So we take another reference. with respect to M. With respect to M. So M versus Y. M versus Y. The angle is around. The angle is 38 degree. Small circle 38 degree. So keeping M as center, keeping M at this point of the wolf net, this, because wolf, if we take into account wolf net, we have the circles like this. So keeping M here, we measure 10, 20, 30 like this. So you draw this circle. That circle has been drawn here. So this circle. So this circle, and this circle, they join at one point YE, which shows the location of Y face of this crystal. It is drawn in this manner because it is not having direct link with this, it is not having direct link with this face. That's why we take use of the circles, great circles, small circles, and through that we locate the face in the stereo diagram. So in this manner, all the faces of this crystal model is transferred to the equatorial plane. D, N, M, C, then O, point O. So in this manner, all the faces are being transferred to the equatorial plane. Now, so to locate Y, we got one circle, two arcs, they join at Y, which is having face symbol 1, 1, 1. So this is how we discussed the projection of the crystal model having rho and phi angles. In my next video, I will discuss about the use of interfacial angles for plotting of the angles in the net to produce stereographic projection of crystals. Thank you all for giving a patient hearing to my talk.